Hi everyone, I'm Colleen. I'm back for another live stream brought to you by the awesome people over at Princess Dental Staffing. Happy to see everyone on this Wednesday. So today's topic is unsure if you should change dental offices. You probably should. So, if you've participated in our, some of our previous streams, especially in the previous weeks and months, we've talked a lot about kind of how you can contribute to your current dental office, right? How you can be more valuable in your dental office, or tips and tricks for time management or patient care and those sorts of things. So we've been talking a lot about basically making your current position better or being more valuable in your current role. But the reality of the situation is that if you've been in the dental industry for any length of time, you're probably going to change offices once, twice, maybe even a few more times than that, right? So that's just kind of the reality of the situation. So what are some things that you should consider, or some things that you should do before you make the decision to make that change? That's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we dive into today's topic, just want to remind everyone that each week we are bringing you a new live stream that covers your career in the dental industry. So each week on Wednesday. So if you don't want to miss out on future streams, be sure to follow our page or subscribe to our channel. If you like the information that we're bringing you, be sure to drop us a like. And of course, if you have any questions, thoughts, insights, or anything to contribute to the conversation that we're having, be sure to comment below. And if we couldn't get to your comment when this stream was live, of course, we will respond as soon as possible. Okay. And by the way, while you're at it, you may as well check out princessdentalstaffing.com. There you can view their blog that covers a lot of the same topics that we are covering in these streams. You can also take a look at their job board. So Princess Dental Staffing is an online dental job board. They have positions available for front office, dental assistant, dental hygienist, and even dentists in a variety of different areas. They offer full-time, part-time, temporary, and permanent placements, okay? So be sure to check out, dental offerings in your area. You can also create a profile and get your information in front of hiring managers as well. So a lot you can do on the website, so be sure to check it out today, princessdentalstaffing.com, okay? So let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So what are some of the things that you should sort of consider or think about before making the change to a different dental office potentially? So one thing you should consider, are you being underpaid, right? That's probably really one of the most common reasons that employees start to look for other employment, feeling that they are being underpaid. Okay. Not only that, but salary is definitely one of those things that's it's very easily comparable to other positions. It's one of the easiest things to compare, right? And of course, monetary income, your income, affects a lot of different aspects of your life, both professional and personal. So, money is definitely a huge consideration when it comes to deciding whether or not to make the move to another practice or not. Okay. So, one of the things you should do is definitely do your research beforehand before you decide to make the jump because of salary or because of money. Okay, because it could be there could be a few different factors at play here. For example, is it your office? Is it the local area? Or is it potentially your profession? That's kind of the reason behind why your salary is not where you want it to be. Okay, so first thing you should do is you should take a look at the average salaries for your state or local area. We have a list of salaries available, a list of salaries by state available on princessdentalstaffing.com for both dental assistants and dental hygienists on the blog. So you can check that out and kind of take a look at, like I said, kind of average salaries in your state or local area. Okay. So take a look at, kind of the average for your particular area, and that'll give you a good idea of where to start, right? Because The next thing you want to do is consider, what you're currently making as compared to the average, right? Are you lower than the average? Well, maybe you can talk to your dentist or your office manager about potentially getting a raise to meet the average, right? If you're a little bit lower than that, or if there's just no room to move up in your salary, it might be time to move on to a different office. Okay, is the average, or is your salary above the average? Right? Are you actually making a little bit more than the hourly or annual salary for your local area? Well, then some other things that you may want to consider, perhaps moving to a different area where the salaries are a little bit higher, and that might help you out quite a bit. Something else to consider perhaps is your profession. Are you currently front office? You may want to think about making a change to a dental assistant, or if you're a dental assistant, maybe moving up and getting some extra training and becoming a dental hygienist. Okay. Or if it's, if you are making more than the average for your area, you may want to take a look at some financial management and budgeting tools to kind of drive down some of your costs so that you can kind of live within your means, right? So a few different things to kind of consider when deciding whether or not to leave the office due to your salary. The other thing you want to consider is your benefits package as well. A lot of employees will overlook the benefits package because it doesn't necessarily, benefits packages don't necessarily give you extra money in your paycheck, right? It's nice to have that extra money and be able to decide to spend it on whatever you want to spend it on. But, don't discount your benefits package because there are advantages to having those benefits, right? Sometimes those benefit packages can actually save you some money in the long run. Okay, so make sure that you're taking a look at that and seeing how much it factors into how much money you're actually making. Okay. Something else to consider: are you feeling appreciated at your current dental office? Okay. So a lot of people go into the dental industry, especially becoming a dental assistant or a dental hygienist, because they find the work itself to be incredibly fulfilling, right? You're helping people to become healthier, helping your patients to become healthier and to improve their health and by extension, the quality of their lives, right? So that in itself can be incredibly fulfilling. But, if you're working in an environment where you feel very underappreciated, that fulfillment can be curbed, right? It can be kind of limited. And it can lead to just kind of feeling unfulfilled in your career, but also making it more difficult to even want to come to work and help your patients, right? So feeling appreciated is definitely a crucial part of your career, and really just feeling good about going to work in the morning, right? Since we all spend so much time at work anyway, right? And actually, feeling underappreciated is one of the most common reasons why registered dental hygienists leave the practice for another. Okay. A lot of that underappreciation can stem from the office itself. Okay. Not necessarily the patients themselves, but definitely from the office itself. And sometimes that kind of comes back to the dentist or even your team members. Okay. So, that's something that can definitely not just only come from your patients, but also just kind of your work environment in general. Okay. And if that's the case, that's definitely something that you want to kind of think about and, consider whether or not you want to make the change to another dental office. Okay. There are many dentists that claim that hygienists are overpaid and underworked. But if you've worked as a dental hygienist, that is very often not the case. Okay. And that sort of attitude, again, can make you feel very, very underappreciated in your current position. As a matter of fact, some surveys have shown that most dental assistants feel as though they are underpaid in their positions as well. So that kind of goes back to, are you getting paid enough? Are you getting a high enough salary for the work that you're doing? And if your salary is a little bit lower than the average, that can lead to feelings of feeling underappreciated as well. So they kind of go hand in hand. Okay. And then even more dental hygienists believe that they don't receive enough benefits from their dental office as well. So again, just kind of going back to salary and tying salary with feeling appreciated. Okay. So if you are feeling underappreciated at your dental office, and if it is stemming from the office itself or maybe the dentist, might be time to find something that is where you feel more appreciated, and where you feel that you can do the most, get the most benefit while giving the most benefit, right? Scope creeping, something else that you want to think about when considering whether or not to leave or stay at your current dental office. Scope creeping. Okay. So of course, Princess Dental Staffing and me myself as well, personally, we definitely believe in jumping in and being helpful where you can, but there's a limit to that, right? There's a limit to jumping in and being helpful, okay? Because jumping in and being helpful and just kind of helping support the team when you can is a really great way to lead to better patient care, better patient health, right? And just helping the dental office as a whole, okay? But when it becomes excessive, it becomes known as scope creeping. So basically, scope creeping is basically defined as when you're obligated to perform duties that are not your responsibility nor part of your position, okay? And again, it's not really voluntary necessarily, okay? Again, jumping in and helping out, always a great thing, always something that shows that you're a great team player and really helps out your teammates. But if it's something that you're obligated to do, it's something that's not really within the scope of your duties, that's kind of that now you're kind of getting into scope creeping, okay? So, let's kind of give an example of scope creeping. So say, for example, you're a dental hygienist and you're told that you have to stay late and assist with patient file organization consistently because the front desk ended up becoming behind in patient file organization and updating and all those sorts of things. It's not really part of your job description, right? As a dental hygienist. And not only that, you're essentially obligated to get it done, to put in those extra hours and to get something done that's not really within your scope of duties. So that's kind of scope creeping. Now, volunteering to kind of get that done because the front office got a little bit behind because of whatever happened, that's a little bit different. But if you're obligated to stay, putting in those extra hours and doing something really kind of outside of the scope of your position, and you have to kind of sacrifice your personal time in order to accommodate, now you're talking about scope creeping, okay? That has a lot of negative effects on morale. For example, feeling exhausted, feeling burned out, feeling overwhelmed, and all those sorts of things. Also feeling very underappreciated as well. Okay, so all of these kinds of things tend to kind of spill into one another, but they're definitely things that you want to kind of take a look at and see if that's really the cause of why you're thinking about making the move to another office. And if so, if there's anything that you can do about it, if you can maybe talk to your leadership and see if there are some things that can't be corrected or worked out. And if not, it might be time to make the change, okay? So another thing that you want to kind of think about before you make the change is once you've understood some of the reasons why you might want to make the change to a different office or practice, asking for a second opinion, okay? Because we all, at the end of the day, we all have those days, right? We all have those bad days. It doesn't matter how much you love your job. It doesn't matter how much you actually enjoy the work. We all kind of have those days. Sometimes you just get that perfect storm of, difficult patients or customers, and, ornery team members or something like that. We all kind of had those bad, even I do. I love what I do and I love working with my clients and I really find a lot of value in the work that I do. But even I sometimes get those days where I just kind of want to walk away. It just gets a little bit overwhelming sometimes, okay? Because that's work and that's what happens at work. I constantly tell my husband, if they called it, if it wasn't work, they call it happy, happy, fun time. It's not happy, happy, fun time. it's work, and it does take a lot of time, effort, and energy, and some days it just does not feel worth it. But those are just some days, right? If they're not every day, then perhaps you're just having a bad day. So one thing that you may want to consider doing is asking for a second opinion. So once you understand the reasons why you're thinking about making the change and leaving, you may want to talk to someone, preferably not someone within the same office as you, maybe a friend or a trusted family member, and lay out your reasons for why you are considering leaving your place of employment, and kind of getting a second opinion. When you're having a bad day, your feelings and your emotions are kind of running high, right? And that is definitely not the time. When you are feeling very angry and very frustrated and just very, sometimes even hopeless, that is definitely not the time to make major decisions, okay? So, asking for a second opinion is always a good choice. Just like the dental industry, second opinions are relatively welcome. If you're confident in your reasoning and your diagnosis. So, second opinions, definitely a good idea, and kind of get the feedback from a trusted friend or family member before making a major decision that you made just kind of in the heat of the moment. Okay. Alrighty. And then lastly, if you decide to leave, be sure to end on good terms. So if you've taken the time to kind of think about why you want to leave, if you've gotten your second opinion and your trusted friend or family member, or friends or family members have said, yeah, I think it's probably time for you to make the change, make sure that you leave on good terms. Okay. You don't want to burn the bridge if it's not necessary. Okay. And one of the major reasons for that is because word travels quickly in the dental community in local areas. A lot of people in the dental industry are networking with one another and connected with one another. So, kind of burning that bridge and, leaving behind on bad terms, that can get word around and that can affect you in the long run. So make sure that you are leaving on good terms. For example, you'll definitely want to give as much notice as possible. The standard is 2 weeks, right? Giving a 2-week notice. Up to 8 weeks is always a good idea as well. So anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks, at least 2 though, is what we definitely recommend. 2 to 8 weeks. Okay. Additionally, you want to make sure that you take care of your connections with that current office as well. Making sure that you have those positive relationships with not only your leadership, but your team members as well, as you may end up working with them again somewhere else potentially. Make sure you keep those good relationships. Okay, and that can really set you up for success in moving forward in your dental career. Okay. So let's do a quick recap, okay? So some of the things to consider some of the things to kind of think about and examine and maybe do a little research on before you make the decision to leave your current office. Are you being underpaid? Make sure that you are comparing what you're making with averages, okay? And kind of making a decision from there. Number 2, are you feeling appreciated at your dental office, okay? That might be something, again, the feeling underappreciated might come from the patients, but it also might come from the office. And if that's the case, you may want to move on, okay? Scope creeping. Are you being required to take care of things that are outside of the scope of your job? Are you sacrificing your personal time? Is it really kind of messing with your work-life balance? Those are some things that you might want to think about when deciding to leave your current practice. Okay, asking for a second opinion is a really great way to help ensure that you're not making decisions in the heat of the moment, and that your decisions aren't being fueled by negative emotions or just a bad day or a bad couple of days. Okay. And then lastly, if you do decide to leave, make sure that you don't burn the bridge, okay? Make sure you end there on good terms. You never know when you might work with these same people again. So it's a good idea to maintain those good relationships, give a notice if at all possible, and just leave with those good relationships with your team members and your leadership intact, okay? All right. So that is our topic for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you could on this Wednesday. We will be back next week with a brand new topic discussing your career in the dental industry. But in the meantime, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Continue to stay safe out there, and I will see you soon. All right.